first half, most of the first half. Early second half, they were in complete control. Portugal had the end of the second half and the first half of extra time. So, yeah, it's definitely not going to take too much out of this for the World Cup, because I'm sure Spain is still the favourites going into that, especially with the young players they've got coming through.
The position would have been strengthened, but right now it's about the winners. Roberto Martinez leading Portugal to reclaim this trophy, which they won in 2019. Not that long after they won the Euros in 2016. And Diogo Costa with the key moment, the defining moment of the match, saving from Alvaro Morata. Nuno Mendes getting the plaudits for his display, not just in this final, but this season as well, adding this trophy to the Champions League title. And Pepe getting a good reception from the Portuguese supporters and the manager and players as well. Alexander Ceferin putting the medals round the necks of these Portuguese players. And the substitutes made a difference as well in this match.
I think that was the big thing for Portugal, the substitutes and the speed in which Martinez changed it. The two at half-time, definitely taking off João Neves in that sort of false right-back position, bringing on Semedo, who not only defensively did a great job, but going forward created havoc, getting himself into positions which were, he was having to occupy Spanish defenders. And then in the second half, when Spain really had the dominance.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo has a hold of that trophy. Portugal have a hold of that trophy again. The winners of the UEFA Nations League in 2025. Portugal!
We'll take a break, and in the last part we'll wrap things up on a very special night for Portugal.
There is no doubt that he knows all the focus and the attention is on him, but there is no doubt either that he loves Portugal, he loves to be part of the national side. He has made a big thing by, as I said earlier, backing up Roberto Martinez. The team has got the balance that he wants. He has the importance that, yes, he deserves historically, but it's an importance that's backed up by goals. So you have to be happy for Cristiano, and as you say, you have to back up these two teams to go far in the World Cup.
Just seeing there, he also likes winning.
Yeah,
so yeah, when you got a squad depth and a team like this, you know, you want to be around it. Obviously, it's really interesting where Ronaldo goes next, club-wise. Where is he going to go? Because you need to, for him, rest and recover and make sure he picks the right team to give him the best chance to go to the World Cup next year. But, you know, in that 18-yard box, there's no one else you would want better in there to sniff out the chances. And we've seen it now that it's 8 in 9 games for him in this competition.
It is now, yeah, absolutely.
So, look, he's fun. And the manager as well, you know, it's not easy as a manager to tell someone like Ronaldo, just stay in the width of the box. And sometimes we saw it get so many frustrated in tournaments. He's been able to do that, and look what he gets.
I think it's really good because we have a lot of England fans watching this evening, and you know the relationship with the Nations League, maybe because England got relegated, Scotland went in Tier A, and now England are back in Tier A. Watching this, I'm hoping they're thinking, actually, this is proper stuff. England are playing proper opponents, not this autumn, because that's World Cup qualifiers next autumn of 26. This is a proper trophy. We want to be part of this.
That's why I said to you, look how serious this is taken. And from an England's perspective, you want to be playing in these big games and these big moments because it prepares you, yes, for this, but for World Cups, for European Championships. These moments at latter stages of the tournaments, this is what it feels like. And the more you get used to it, the easier and better it is in those moments.
And the more you want it.
Yeah.
Very well explained, but I've never fully understood why there is a choice of what is a good competition and what is a bad competition. Why Chelsea were in the Conference League? It's only the Conference League. Or Spurs is a different case anyway. But you win this and you get used to winning, and winning breeds winning. Okay, you can also say that I see the faces of the Spanish players and Luis de la Fuente, and you think it could be a defeat in which you can learn as well. You learn more from defeat, perhaps, or so they say, than from victories. But in any case, yes, there is something to say about a competition in which you have to beat World Cup winning sides to actually win it.
If I said to you in the next 12 months that what De La Fuente maybe particularly, if there is one out there, be looking for, would it be a number 9? I mean, Oyarzábal was great, but at times, as you said at half-time, they're playing without one, and that could be a strength, but actually, in the end, it was a bit of a weakness. Is that one area they'll be looking at, do you think?
But we were praising Oyarzábal in that position because of how he was linking up in one of the goals and scored the other. So, no, I don't think... It helps you win the midfield battle, which Spain needs to, if you have somebody like Oyarzábal playing there. Weaknesses, Porro, until Carvajal comes on, who is the best right back in the world perhaps, there's a weakness on the right hand side of the defence. But the rest, look, they competed. Spain have lost in penalties, so the conclusion shouldn't be too negative. But there is always room for improvement. I'm sure that Luis de la Fuente will show that there is few players there that perhaps came on the pitch and didn't do much different. So can he find game changers that can do that? But he's very loyal to the players that he's got. It's a generation that he's followed very closely for 7-8 years in different positions in the federation. So Spain is in a good place. The good news is that so is Portugal.
Absolutely. So Iberia is in a very good place. Just one more, Roberto Martinez. Obviously, with Wigan, won the FA Cup, they got relegated, went to Everton, didn't work out, went to Belgium with that fantastic generation. That didn't work out. I think a lot of people were like, oh, he's gone to Portugal. They really didn't see that coming, thinking, this is quite a punt.
I think it was more so just off of the Belgium national team. That's where it was kind of like, right, so you're going from that golden generation to this one. So what's going to be different? What have you learned?
In a way, how have you done that? Because it didn't work with Belgium. Yeah.
Well, obviously, look, there's something special about him. The players, like Ronaldo, they've reacted positively to him. He's obviously won this competition now. But, he will be absolutely judged after this at that World Cup, whether, as you mentioned, if he's going to be picked. But I think it would be terrible if he was replaced after doing what he's done here tonight.
No, and you're talking about somebody that started, in a way, a trend. He's a club manager, could be in the Premier League. And yet he goes to Belgium, goes to Portugal, and then you start seeing the likes of Tuchel going to England and so on. It's an option to have somebody that has had experience, that comes into the federation not only as the first team head coach, but somebody that wants to change things around the team and around especially the youth coming through. He's been involved in all of that, and as a consequence, he knows what's coming through. He knows the strengths of the team. He even sings the national anthem of Portugal, being Spanish.
He sang it very heartily. Did it look Pepe? That's fantastic to see. And there'll be a few Spanish fans in there, of course, who are Real Madrid fans. They'll enjoy seeing Pepe there as well. That's fantastic. I mean, he has done really well, Martinez, with the whole Ronaldo thing. As we said at the end of the Euros, we hadn't scored.
Yeah.
I think surely somebody has to be big enough to go, you're a legend, you can't do it anymore.
No, in the first...
whatever the conversations were,
he did the thing that I guess you're supposed to do. The first trip when he gets selected, his travel, wherever Cristiano Ronaldo is, talk to him and said to him, you are to be my number 9, my main star, my captain. Next, he had to say that publicly, and he said it in the press conference. Cristiano Ronaldo's here to stay at a time when everybody was questioning him. And third, he had to convince people within the side, the Bruno Fernandes of that generation, that were not sure that Cristiano should continue. And they paying the dividends of keeping somebody motivated and a squad that understands the role of Ronaldo and vice versa.
Lamine Yamal may win the battle. May well do.
This guy, though.
But that guy, Nuno Mendes, has been absolutely sensational all season. I think he's the player of the finals. I think this is what he's getting here. The player of the finals. He has been sensational all season. You said it at half-time. Salah, Saka, all these players, in the final of the weekend.
The wing-backs to deal with Inter Milan, and then obviously tonight.
Back into the corner flag.
Yeah, and then look, you love seeing him burst forward. I mean, he's got the goal tonight, hasn't he, and the assist. But ultimately, you mentioned those players, he's got a defensive responsibility. And a few players will be looking at him thinking, how do I get past him? How do I be more smarter and clever and try and really preying his weaknesses? But he's the complete, and what a joy to have him in your team.
Look at that lovely bashful smile. That's fantastic. He deserves all the plaudits, Gia.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. Top 10 of Ballon d'Or. You'll see him there, I imagine, because of course he was involved in the Champions League final as well, and he has been superb. We'll see him in the Club World Cup. There is all of that. But in terms of learning, I tell you, somebody that will learn from tonight, Lamine Yamal, who was totally anonymous, couldn't see how to beat not only Mendes, but generally the defensive setup of Portugal. He'll have to think of ways of doing this, even if it is attract players and allow others to shine. He wasn't his game, one in which he wanted to be important, and he wasn't today.
Maybe come off. I mean, I know he tried a little bit, didn't he? Come off his wing, maybe go in field. Look, he's 17. You're allowed to have a bad day at the office when you're 17.
I mean, what was we all doing at 17? Not what this kid is. So,
Failing my driving test several times.
I think we can let him have a half day, and it wasn't even a bad day. It was just
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's all part of it. Well, as I say, watching it this evening, I hope it gives you a sense of hope of just how much this matters. And this is the level that England will be playing at when they start the groups again in the autumn of 2026. So I thought the referees did. I thought they refereed well tonight.
Very, very well. There was, I don't think, any player that will come out upset with the referee for any reason, and that is obviously a 10 out of 10 from a referee that allowed play to continue. In the big decisions, he was right. He didn't need much help from VAR. He saw it all, and he was very, very well helped by the assistants.
You don't want the referee to be the main character of tonight. So yeah, it was really good. Really enjoyed it. That flow.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's very easy to be critical of sports administrators. I mean, especially in football. But do you want Nations League or do you want a bunch of friendlies? I think we've got the answer, haven't we?
Yes. Karen said it earlier. Just make the best teams play against the best teams, and then what you're going to get is you're going to become better. I think these teams are getting a step ahead from the rest because they compete in this way, and that's bad news for perhaps even the likes of England that won't have the opportunity to play against this level of opposition.
Absolutely.
When something matters.
Absolutely, that's right. Let's go back to the Allianz then for the trophy presentation itself. Andros Townsend and Seb Hutchins.
Yes, thank you. Of course, it must be remembered that it was just a saved penalty. Saved by Diogo Costa from Alvaro Morata on that particular occasion. The difference between these two sides in the end. Luis de la Fuente, though, it must be remembered, great success in his spell with Spain, winning the Euros last year after winning the Nations League as well. Spain so successful in recent years, and even reaching this final, a mark of their success. And we look at this picture overall, you can't read too much into this as far as the World Cup next year, can you?
Absolutely not. Spain have lost tonight, but in the main they were probably the better